This is the video. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الحمد لله نحمده ونشكره that we were able to come and have صلاة الفجر جماعة today. We ask Allah that He's gonna keep us في ذمته اليوم وكل يوم إن شاء الله. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا تجد له وليا مرشدا. Today I'm gonna tell you a story. Okay. It's a fictitious story. It's a very trivial story. You might think of it as really trivial, but you really, if you think about it later on, you're gonna find it. It's really to the point. Okay. It really exemplifies why the underdeveloped countries of the third world, okay, why we are in this situation, why we are really backwards. You know, we are Muslims, we are muwahideen billah, we are mu'mineen, okay, but it's from the story you're gonna find out why we came up to that point, why we are really behind the Western countries and European countries, you know, which majority of them are not really Muslims, they are not muwahideen, okay, but they work hard, honestly, okay, and that's why they excel, okay. So the story today is you're gonna extract that meaning from it. Back in the old days, very old days, before they invented, you know, water coolers and refrigerators and stuff like that, people used to drink water, okay, but they want to drink it a little bit cold, okay, especially in the summer. So what they used to have something called Zeer, okay, which is actually, it's a clay made out of pot, you know, I mean, it's a pot, actually, a pot made out of clay, big one, okay, and they put the water in it and it gets cold. It is very primitive idea, okay, put it in a clay in a clay pot and water gets cold because the clay is porous. The water is going to diffuse through the pores of this one, so it's going to be exposed to the external environment, and the water is going to get evaporated. How is going to get evaporated? Needs heat. So it absorbs the heat from the water which is inside, so the water gets cold. Very primitive, but it's really scientific. Right. Okay? So people used to say, to put that stuff in something called Zeer. There are small ones, there's the big ones, you know, but the big one would serve lots of people. Small ones of people used to keep them in their homes for individuals and stuff like that. So today I'm going to tell you a story which I give it a title of, now we know what a Zeer is, okay? Yes. It's a water container or a water jar, okay? Yeah. The fiasco of the water container, the fiasco of the Zeer, okay? Ready to hear about it? Okay, let's hear about it.
Enjoy it, because I know what is the Zeer. All of my life.
I think we all. It's not only in the old days, it's still up till now. In the small villages, people who still do that. Yes, well, it's really very beautiful, and it's beautiful fresh water, clean. Water cooler, yes.
And live water, not like this water we're drinking. Scientific live water, Dr. Allah.
It is really beautiful. Yes. It's really beautiful. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna talk about the fiasco of the Zeer. The Zeer has no fiasco, but let's see what's going around the Zeer and how it became a fiasco. The story of the Zeer became fiasco. Okay. Long time ago, God knows how long, okay, there was a king or a president or a ruler of a country. He was a really good man. Okay, he always looks for the affairs of his people, want to make them happy, want to have equality between all of them and stuff like that. One time he was passing by, as usual, just to see the situation and the status of his people. Like Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, ولكن ولا عمر المثل الأعلى. Okay, he just was walking in the streets and, you know, found the people, okay, drinking from, there was a canal, people drinking from the canal. ياخدوا غرفة and drink it from the candle like that by their hands. So the guy said, oh, that's not really a nice way, okay? We have to give them a container. They can put the water in the container and then they can take scoop some of it and drink it. That's easier. So he ordered one of his cabinets. Okay, you guys bring a container, put it there. Okay, fill it with water. Okay, and let the people use it. Put a cup on top of it and cover it and put a cup over it. Okay, and let the people use it. It's more convenient for them. So the prime minister himself, he did that. Okay, don't forget the ruler is really very nice. The prime minister just obeyed the order. Okay, then they did that. Then one guy came from the cabinet. See, when you have a good ruler and the people surrounding them are really corrupted. Okay. One of the guy, he said, okay, well, we need to, since we put a cup on top of it, okay, we need to make everybody awake. We need to make a stand for the Zeer, okay, to stand on, okay, and we need to make a cover for it. So we need a handyman to make those things for it. So they hired the handyman. Okay. Now they have everything set. Then another guy from the cabinet said, well, since we have this one, we need a security guard to guard these contents, I mean, the Zeer and the cover and the cup and everything might get stolen. So we need a security guard. So they hired security guards. Okay. Then another man came, he said, but we're having a guard to guard this one and the security guard to make sure that everything's in place and nothing gets stolen. That's going to be very tedious for them to stand 24/7 every day, okay? We need more than one. So why don't we appoint 7 guards, okay, to have shifts, 1 guard every day. So the 1 guard became now 7. So they hired 7, okay? And then one guy, smart guy, okay, from the cabinet also, smart, but see how they are building their empire, how they are building, everything's going higher and higher and higher, and this costs money, okay? Then another guy said, well, okay, now we have a team, okay, taking care of that Zeer and whatever it has, okay? We have to do ننشئ إدارة حسابية, okay? We have to have a financial department, okay? And we have to have a CPA, okay? So they can make documents for the salaries of those people, okay? Every month, what they take and what's the money coming in, what's the money coming out. So they have to establish financial department and they have to hire CPAs, okay? Then another guy came in and he said, since we have all this team now, we have to establish إدارة لشؤون العاملين للإشراف على العاملين وعمل دفاتر حضور وانصراف. Then another guy came and said, we have to have an HR department, human resources. Who's gonna keep an eye who's coming and who's not coming and who's gonna take his salaries and stuff like that? We have to take attendance and absences and stuff like that. Okay, so another idara, and another guy also from the cabinet around the king doesn't know that it's gonna be happening, okay, which is mostly, unfortunately, that's what's going on in those countries, okay. Most of the rulers are really away, okay. They don't really supervise one at a time on situ what's going on, okay. Then another guy came and said, okay, then we have to establish شؤون قانونية. Okay, we have to have a legal affairs department. We have people now. Okay, if there is a dispute between the people and there is quarrels and stuff like that, somebody has to judge and has to give everybody whatever he deserves. شؤون قانونية, legal affairs. Then another guy came in and said, okay, now we have big team now, okay, so let's have a general manager or a director, okay. So they appointed a smart guy, okay, and they said, okay, you are a general manager, you're gonna take care of how you're running this institute, okay. It became an institute. Oh, but where are we gonna be? Where are we gonna be there? Okay, we have to build a building. So they erected a big, constructed big building, lots of rooms, offices, conference rooms, lighting, air conditioning, everything, okay, and stuff like that. So they have, and they put on top, you know, a banner. It says the General Institute of the Zeer, the General Institute of that pot, big with a light, okay. And then, okay, and the general manager, they make for him, of course, a big office, okay, and they appointed one good guy, okay, and they put the name tag of him for him. It's a big name tag, okay. They said, for example, السيد الأستاذ الدكتور الطيار المشارك في كل المعارك السيد مدير عام شؤون الزير. This is the sir of the best who really participated in everything for this country, and he sacrificed himself, and probably he died 300 times before, okay. All right, and he's the most equivalent person to, most capable person to being in this job. This is just the title in front of his big office, you know, and everything. Yeah. So one time the king came back, you know, after a year, and he was just passing by, and he found that big building in his city. He said, "What is this?" Okay, the people told him, you know, this is the building for the. You remember, sir? You remember the Zeer when you told us to make a Zeer and stuff? This is what we have to do just to take care of your order in the beginning. For the Zeer, you ordered for us. We have to do that stuff and stuff. Okay, so he just went in and looked for this. Of course, he didn't really like that. So what he found, he found the Zeer is broken.
With all of this institute.
Okay, the Zeer is dry. Inside the Zeer, there are a whole bunch of insects and, you know, animals, dead animals inside.
The skin is it.
And the Saqqa, the guy who used to give the water to the people, and the guard who used to say, are sleeping, snoring next to the Zeer. Okay, and the big guy, the Sayyid al-Doktor al-Ustaz, or whatever it is absent. He's not in today. Okay? Okay. So, it just shows you, okay, how we can come up with a really very good idea, okay, to use it as a nucleus to do something really important, but we ruin it because of the selfishness of ourselves. Okay, so let's see what we learned from this story. Okay. Number one, قد يكون الحاكم عادلا ويعمل على مصلحة رعيته ولكن البطانة فاشلة تنظر فقط إلى مصلحتها. That's number one. The ruler could be really a just man looking for the affairs of his people, but the people surrounding him are really corrupted, only looking for themselves and how they're gonna get rich and how much money to steal quickly before they leave their position. Okay. Number two, إهدار المال العام لأغراض شخصية. This is public money. All that stuff is public money. This is taxpayer money. Okay, people paying for the regular people, عامة الشعب, they didn't feel all of those things. They don't really care about all of that stuff. They just want to drink water. That's all. Okay, but everybody who's appointed for this job, from the Bitana, from the Hashiyat al-Malik, was pocketing things in his pocket, his money, from the taxpayers, from the public money. This is also this example for the bureaucracy, the bureaucracy and the red tape.
على
Okay, okay, yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is an example. Okay, how bureaucratic we are, how we follow the rules blindly without thinking, how we just follow the books. You know, books are written, instructions are written, but written for those who have know-how. They have brains. You have to think about it. Don't follow it, you know, blindly. Okay, so on. Okay, so the example of the bureaucracy. Okay, and how hard it is. And the bottom line of all of those things, like Ibn Taymiyyah, when he said, okay, إن الله يقيم الدولة إن الله يقيم الدولة العادلة ولو كانت كافرة ولا يقيم الدولة الظالمة ولو كانت مسلمة. Okay, I'm going to translate that. Ibn Taymiyyah رضي الله عنه رحمه الله, Ibn Taymiyyah, one of the big scholar, thinker, okay, he said, God or Allah, okay, establishes a just state even if it is an infidel, غير عادلة, ظالمة, okay, but it's just عدل, okay, it's just, but they are not really Muslims, and God will support them. Okay, typical example, the Western society, the European countries, okay, they are progressing, they are civilized, everything. They are not really Muslims, they are not really, you know, not as Muslims as we are, okay, but they are really excelling, okay, and God does not establish an unjust state even it is Muslim. Okay, فإن الله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. For God does not guide those who are oppressors or unjust. So we really have to think about that deeply and see really it prints our situation exactly. Okay, I'm done.
المهم الزير was broken.
The Zeer was broken. The guy was sleeping next to it,
Big
snoring.
institution.
It's
for
no
the Zeer.
water in there,
محارب.
and it's insects and everything. The whole thing, but all that broken, but the institute was still there.
يعني
People were still
لبنان
making
سرقوا
money.
فلوسنا.
سرقوا فلوسنا
الزير بتاع لبنان
وناموا
انكسر
ولا
من الشباب
خدوا.
وخدوا الفلوس وهربوا.
اللهم اني دافع
بدل
منهم.
الاستراحة.
اللهم اني دافع منهم.
البطاطا واحد بكرنا الناس.
اوكي.
يلا.
ايام اني دافع منهم.
الله المستعان. انا بقول كله مش لبنان بس يعني.
إن كانت الحياة بحرا من الهموم فإني أدعو الله أن نعبرها بقارب صغير من الصبر.
مين يا رب.
وقل اللهم برائحة الجنة بلغنا وببياض الوجه أوعدنا وبظل عرشك أسكننا ومن حيث لا نحتسب أرزقنا. اللهم آمين. اللهم ارزقنا صباح الرضا والطاعة، صباح الولاء المعطر بالصلاة على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
صباح الفل.
اللهم ارزقنا التفاؤل والابتسامة.
آمين.
فإذا اشتاقت القلوب إلى القلوب ومالت الشمس إلى الغروب فلنتذكر قول الله المكتوب ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب.
آمين رب العالمين.
أدعو الله لي ولكم بأحلى يوم مليء بالدعوات المستجابة من رب كريم وعظيم. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك واسكننا واسع جنتك في رفقة حبيبك وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه
أجمعين. آمين رب العالمين. ما شاء الله.
يعني أنت your subject today